Hello guys, today I want to speak about 5 advantages and disadvantages of AYN Thor. This is a very nice device and I'm using it for I think 2 months, and there is some stuff that I like in this device, and also of course there is something I don't like and I want to company AYN to fix it maybe in future, or maybe they will release the second generation of these devices. So let's start. Let's start from disappointings. So let's start from the bad things that I don't like in this device. Actually, this is very nice shaped device, and I understand that the engineers of the company wanted to make it so compact, and they were like, what if we do the grip more comfortable, but then the device will be more fatter? So they cannot do that, so they go into compromises and made it that shape that we have now. But I don't really like that shape. I know that there are some bumpers that you can use with this device. So the best shaped device for me, it was NVIDIA Shield. If you can remember, that was a device like a clamshell like this one, but with a very nice and comfortable grip. It was the best device that I ever used, and it was so comfortable. So I would like that maybe AYN company will make such device, maybe a copy of NVIDIA Shield, but with a modern specs. So for me, the shape of device is not so comfortable, and this is just my opinion, of course. But it's still okay for playing some Nintendo games, 3DS or DS games, because the device, I think it was made just for this type of games. And if you want to play something like, I don't know, PlayStation, or if you want to play something like PS2 or Nintendo Switch or etc., you should buy maybe AYN Odin Pro, the second generation, or the third one, or Odin Pro Portal. Yes, of course it will be much more comfortable to play the modern games. But of course, for playing a Nintendo 3DS and DS, it's a perfect device. Maybe they made right shape, but for me it's still not so comfortable. Okay, the second thing for me that I don't like at all and really hate it, that I don't know, maybe they can fix it in the firmware update or something like this, but when I'm playing some games here with emulators, maybe Melon DS or add-on or something like this, and when I want to make a break, so I'm doing like this, close the shell, and I'm just put it in my pocket, maybe of my vest or something like this. I just mentioned that sometimes the device won't turn off, so it starts to heat, and the ventilator starts to work, but in the pocket there is no much room, no much space, and it began to make very hot. So when I'm just feeling that in my coat, something in my pocket, it's very hot. I'm taking this device. It's like maybe something like 85 degrees temperature on the processor, and it is very hot. The vents go very hard, and I understood that the battery is drained out. So it was working in my pocket something like a few hours, and it's not good for the battery, of course, when it's overheating, and it's not good, of course, for the all main board, and of course it's not good when I'm taking it to play, and just mentioned that battery is drained, so I can't play, I can't do anything, and I don't know what happens, why it happens. It happens with a different programs, with the different games. So I'm thinking that something causing the device not go to sleep. And of course, it's not hardware, it is the firmware, and I think it can still fix it. But I just received the third update, and still it doesn't do that. So I don't know if they know about this problem, and it's very interesting if you have this problem also, but maybe it's just my device that have this problem. And if you have this problem, how do you solve it? Of course, it's just not often. So sometimes when you do that, you can see that the screen doesn't turn off. So I don't know what happens, why that happens, but it's bothering me very much, because I'm starting to afraid that sometimes one day I will put this stuff in the car, on the baggage, or in my pocket or something like this. It will be overheat and it blows up or something like this, because it is very, very hot. The temperature is almost 19 degrees Celsius, and it's not great. Of course, the hinge, I just mentioned also that I have something scary on my hinge. So I don't know if it's just a little scratch or what is that. I'll try to show you here. I don't know if you see that. So, but it's like a little scratch. I hope that, because the hinge is not perfect in these devices. I think their most powerful hinge was in the originally Nintendo DS or 3DS models, so they just made a perfect hinge. But here, I don't know, but it still works, and it is okay for me. So the third one, disappointing for me, this is that they just released a new firmware here, and here is little screen on the bottom. So on the last firmware, it was possible to make it dark, like a night. So you just saw the picture of some specs here, and the main screen, it was dark, so you cannot see it. And now it is gray. I don't know why they made it. Maybe for save the screen or something like this. But here now we cannot change it. It is still gray, even if you're using a dark theme. So I just wanted to AYN keep back the natural dark screen of it, because when it's dark, like when it's totally dark, you cannot see the hinge here, edges here, and it's like very nice picture when you are playing somewhere and you have just some icons here, and that's all that you can see on only just icons. You cannot see the edges of the screen, and now you can see that it is totally gray, so it's not so nice looking now. But it's also, as I said, it's also only a firmware update, and maybe in the future they will change it again. I hope so. Okay, next one I don't like in this device, that this giant, I don't know how to say it, that you can see that the screen here and the body here, and it has a very, very great space besides the screen and the body. So when you're closing your device, it's just great and big space here. So when you put your device in your pocket, and in your pocket you have some dust, that dust will be obviously inside your device. And as you can see here, I'm just using some towels to clean it, but you cannot clean some dust here, and you need to use something like air brushers or something like this. So it's not so nice. And of course, one of my greatest issues with that I'm afraid that someday I will put it in my bag and put something very heavy occasionally, and it will crash the screen, because the screen is maybe it's lying here, so it's just one point where the screen goes with the body, and the other part of the screen is just like flying in the air, and if we'll press here or here, it can damage your screen, obviously. So some people I know, they are using that stuff that were in the box, like a little plastic cover that goes here when it comes from the factory, so they don't throw it out and just use it to carry the device with yourself. It looks like a granny that take out the money from the little piece of the clothes or something like this, and it's a little bit weird. I know that they made it just for special purpose. They made it for not to damage the screen with the buttons, but I think they could made some edges here and here, so if you will close the device, these edges will protect your device from the dust, of course, and also they will protect it from the damaging of your screen. If you press it occasionally here or here, that is weak points, I think, of this device. So that is just a shape of device, and I think it just need to be released, maybe the second generation. They need to take some time maybe to understand that is not the greatest stuff here. But of course I didn't heard the cases when the people broke their devices when they was using it just like this. But that's obviously not so good stuff, as I can think. The last one I wanted to change a little bit in this device. I know that it's not a problem of AYN or something like this, but I wanted it to be like this. So I wanted to change to make it exchangeable panels, like in the Nintendo 3DS maybe, because they have opportunity to change this top panel, and it is so easy to do that. You can just change it by yourself, and you can buy any color that you want. And of course it can make some custom stuff, and that's great, I think. So maybe in the future they will make it, and it would be very, very nice, because the gamers are so unique, and we need other colors, we need other stuff, we need other pictures, something like this. Of course you can use some stickers, but it's not so great. So it was 5 disadvantages of AYN Thor. And now I want to say that besides it, if you don't look at these disadvantages, it's a great device that I like so much, and I will not sell it, because I'm actually using it for playing my Nintendo DS or Nintendo 3DS collection. It is so great because it uses both screens, and both screens are OLED, if you want so. And the games looks so juicy and so nice on these screens, and you can play classic games like Zelda, like some Mario, of course, and the screen rate is 120 Hz, so there are almost no input lag in Nintendo 3DS or DS games. Actually, I was using a Retroid Pocket 5 for playing Nintendo 3DS games, and it was awful, as I think. And I think for most part it is usable here because of the screen refresh rate, so it 120 Hz, and that is that is deal breaker for this device, because when you use 120 Hz, the picture is more smooth, and the control is more smooth, and it's more responsive, and the games just runs more good and more fast and more responsive, and it's make the stuff works. So when you're playing here, you can actually play all the library of Nintendo DS, and also of course on Nintendo 3DS. And this is a great stuff for playing these games. Yes, it's not cheap, but also it's very powerful, so you can use it for other platforms and for the other stuff, and it's great. The second is that shape of clamshell, of course. This benefit, it's obviously the greatest for me, because when you're using a Retroid Pocket 5 or 4 or the other device that's not a clamshell, you need to buy some covers, you need to put it back or put it out of there when you're taking it from your pocket, and it's much more, it takes much more space there. But when you're using this device like a clamshell, you just close it and put it in your pocket. Of course, the other side that I've already talked about, it can turn off or not. Occasionally, I don't know. But for the ideal world, the perfect world, it should work like this. You just close it, you just put it in the pocket, and after all, you just go somewhere and you take it from the pocket and you just continue playing, and that's great. Of course, the next benefit for me, it is a screen, and both the screen are OLED, and for me it's great. I don't want anymore to buy the portable device, gaming device without OLED screen, because that's so nice. And when you're playing in the dark, when you're playing some games with the aspect ratio less than your screen, so maybe this square aspect ratio, the other part of your screen, when you're using OLED screen, that will not just work. So you will have an aspect ratio like in the original game, and the borders will be just dark, not gray, and in the shadows you will see just square, and that's obviously great for playing some old style games, and that's very nice and comfortable. Alright, so the screens are very nice and 120 Hz, like I just said. The next one is the buttons and sticks. I like the sticks. That's very responsive. That's very nice, and have OLED. They have LED lights here, so you can customize it a little bit. I don't like some pop colors, so I'm using just a little bit RGB lighting in some soft colors maybe. And it's great for me in the evening when it's dark around. You can see our sticks here, and it looks very nice. So you can customize a little bit, and also the buttons, I think they're on the right places, because we have a screen here. Of course, I'd wanted to maybe a little, for making it a little more comfortable, maybe that one stick is not so good here position. But when you're playing some 3DS games, actually you don't use it, and I just prefer this device for playing 3DS and DS games, as I already said. And for this stuff, you just need this one stick or this one D-pad and these buttons, and that's all. And that's okay for me. So the buttons are nice, they are responsive, they're in the right places. That is very good. The next benefit, that they continue to update it, and AYN, it's a Chinese company, and for the Chinese companies, actually there are many companies that just released the device and forget about this. I have even Microsoft phone on Android that Microsoft doesn't support anymore for a long time, and they forgot about it and they leave their customers. But as I know, AYN is a great company that continue to support their devices. So they're releasing new updates, and as you can see, they released a new update here to protect your screen. They're using now a screensaver, and if you don't using your device for a few minutes, it starts to do this. And I think it's great, because if you forget your device on the table and it's on, you can have after all the ghosting, because this use OLED screen, and OLED screen have benefits, but it also has a minuses. So for the minus, when they have a static image on this, it will have ghosting. It's a great problem of OLED screens, of course. But here, as you can see, that they are looking in the future, so they solved this problem like this. It's a simple way, and then continue to release the They continue to release the firmware updates, and actually that's a great. And also I have AYN Odin Pro Max, the second generation, and I had an issue there. So the screen was actually occasionally have touchscreen issues. So when it was when you're playing some games, sometimes the screen starts to push in the different places. And that was an issue that I mentioned in my channel in the internet, and I saw that a few people also had problems with this. And after maybe a little after 2 years, they released a firmware upgrade in which they said that they just resolved that issue, and now I'm good, I'm okay with my device. After 2 years, they released update because I think they just reading some forums, they just looking of what people saying about their devices, and if there are problems, they trying to solve it, and it's great. I think it's great because that's a great friendship between the customers and the producer of these devices. It's very nice when I wanted to hear what we wanted to say to them and what we wanted, because the people wanted devices with both screen, with the two screen, and they release it. Maybe after all, they will listen some videos and they release new versions, new firmwares, and new stuff, and that's great. That's I think that's a great benefit. And the last that I like in this device, that it is not so pricey. Like we have don't much devices with a both screen. We have more cheap device which was released by Anbernic. And it's so weak and it's not powerful. It have IPS screens and it works okay, but you better buy a Nintendo DS original. But also we have other device, AYN Pocket DS. I think it's like this, but it's also it's powerful. It's good. It have a bigger body, bigger screens, but it also costs much more money, almost double than AYN Pocket Thor. What is the point? The point is this device costs, it's not cheap, but it's not so expensive. It costs okay for the middle versions, like something like $350. I think this is okay for a device that can launch naturally Windows games from emulations and has it all in your pocket and have great screens and have powerful specs. So why not? And of course, this is a golden middle, I'd say. So the price and the specs is great, and I highly recommend you if you want to play Nintendo DS and 3DS games, and if you want one device but for all of your games, because I have many devices like this, and sometimes I'm thinking what to take with me somewhere in the vacation, because I don't want to take a Steam Deck, it's huge. I don't want to take a ROG Ally, it's a little bit better, but the battery it's not so good. Also, it's big enough. I don't want to take something weak like I had Anbernic RG 405, and it's also a good device, but it's just you can play just maybe PlayStation 1 or a little bit PlayStation 2 games there. So I want a balanced device that you can launch many games, that you can carry many games with yourself, and you don't need to take with yourself 3 or 5 devices because that's just a vacation. And so this is my perfect device for vacations, for taking somewhere around with myself. I always take it in my quad, in my pocket, and it's very nice and compact device with a great screens, not so much priced, I think, for its specs. It's not perfect, it's not ideal, but you need to understand that there is no ideal and perfect devices on the market now which you can use for all systems and all purposes. Because Steam Deck is great, but it's huge. Like Samsung device is great, but it's not powerful. Other devices are sick, other devices are very thin, but That's no point. So this device, it's okay for me and for you. You must decide by yourself, of course. But you can try it, I think. If you have some money for this, that will be a very nice option to buy. So thank you very much for watching. I hope that you liked this video, and don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to press like, write some comments. I'm sorry if I just disappointed you. Maybe I said something wrong. Maybe I said some not interesting information for you, but I hope you liked it. So have a nice day, and bye bye.